Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. You guys have really been enjoying our Z790 content, which is something I'm very surprised at because 13th gen, if I'm being honest, is kind of killing it right now and it's doing pretty well. With saying that, you guys wanted to see some cheaper Z790 motherboard options, so we got our hands on this. This is the Gigabyte Z790 AORUS Elite AX. It's cheaper, but is it really worth your hard-earned money? Well, we're not going to find out because these motherboard videos are not reviews. They're just overviews so we can take a bit of a look at everything on the board and what physically comes in the box with the brand new motherboard. And I've got to be honest, there's almost nothing in this motherboard box at all. It's kind of pointless having a motherboard box. Just like ship it in some bubble wrap because there's nothing in the box. Anyways, let's dive, jump, backflip, and kickflip right into this, ladies and gents. Maybe do a tray flip too. Hard flip even. Nollie big heel, nollie big heel in. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, here it is, ladies and gents, the Z790 AORUS Elite AX. But first of all, we need to get the motherboard out of the box so we can take a bit of a closer look at everything that comes with this board. First up, we've got the Wi-Fi antenna for the built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6. Then we've got a set of SATA or SATA cables for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning rush drives. And we've got this little G connector. Basically, you put all your case wiring into this little block and you can plug it straight into your motherboard without having to fuss about. And this little bit of documentation showing Gigabyte's entire Z790 motherboard lineup. Okay, let's get this brand new Z790 board unsheathed so we can take a bit of a closer look at everything on this board. Are you guys ready? I am really ready. Let's do it. First up, we've got the front panel audio header. There's also a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB header. There's a 4-pin 12-volt RGB header. There's a TPM header, which you probably don't need to use. There's 2 USB 2.0 headers for things like liquid coolers and RGB controls and whatnot. There's a Q flash button. Then there's 4 PWM fan headers, as well as the front panel header for your lights and all your switches to let you know your system is up and running and to turn it on. There's also a reset switch. There's 6 SATA or SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning rush drives. There's also a clear CMOS button. There's some Thunderbolt headers if you're using a Thunderbolt add-in card. There's a USB Type-C front panel header. There's a LED postcode array for diagnosing your system. There's a USB 3.2 front panel Type-A header. And then lastly, there's the 24-pin power connector to send juice to your brand new Z790 AORUS Elite AX. Along the top edge of the board, we've got some more RGB headers. There's a 4-pin 12-volt header, a 3-pin addressable RGB header, and 2 more PWM fan headers. And for power delivery, we've got 2 8-pin EPS power connectors as well. For the PCIe slots on this board, we've got a PCIe Gen 5x16 slot, then a PCIe Gen 4x4 slot, and then lastly, a PCIe Gen 3x4 slot, and the bottom 2 slots are by 16 size, but only wide for by 4. For the VRM layout on this board, it features a twin 16 plus 1 plus 2 phase hybrid digital VRM design with 70 amp power stations. And as you can see here, the cooling for the VRM layout is very solid with heat pipes connecting both heat sinks. And you'll notice the whole IO cover here is a giant heat sink to help cover that pretty beefy VRM for the board. It features Intel's LGA 1700 socket, which supports both Intel's 12th and 13th gen CPUs. As for cooler support, we've got a whole video that I'll link in the description to check out if your cooler will work. All right, let's pop open the LGA 1700 socket if you've never seen it before and just take a bit of a look at what's going on in there. To be honest, there's not heaps going on here, but this is just good to show in case you've never seen it before and you'd need to be careful of not bending pins and whatnot. Okay, now, if we look at the back side of the board, there's not a whole lot going on back here. As far as RAM support, it supports up to 4 DDR5 RAM modules, up to 128 gigs in total at 7600 mega transfers overclocked. All right, let's get the heat sinks off the M.2 slot so we can take a look at the storage configuration on this board. Now, this doesn't feature anything special here. There's no PCIe Gen 5 storage. We've got 4 PCIe Gen 4x4 M.2 slots. Sounds like a bit of a tongue twister, but this is about what you'd expect to find on a board in this price range. And it also has these new spring-loaded clips that Gigabyte's using, so we don't need any screws whatsoever for the drives. In terms of rear I/O, we've got a bunch of USB Type-A ports, we've got antenna connectors for the built-in Wi-Fi 6, we've got USB 3.2 Type-A ports, a display port, there's also HDMI, USB Type-C, 2.5 Gigabit Ethernet, and SPDIF/optical out, as well as a mic and a line out. And you guys already know how I feel about these audio interfaces on these new Gigabyte boards, as well as an integrated I/O shield.
Just how many times does it take for my world to tell me about some life? Just how many times does it take for my world to
Alright ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this overview of the brand new Gigabyte Z790 AORUS Elite AX. Now, this is the point in the video where I would complain about everything that I don't like about this board with the clip and the audio interface. So I'll just insert a clip of me complaining about this stuff about another motherboard that this does the same thing. So I'll just put the clip in now. The audio interface is one of those things again. Now, I just don't understand why they're doing it, but it looks like Gigabyte's cutting back on all their integrated audio solutions. These audio codecs and these audio interfaces support the rest of the outputs and inputs anyway. Just put it on the board for us. Now, the other thing is that top PCIe slot, bloody clip, whatever the bloody hell they want to call it, with these huge heat sinks for these M.2 slots. Sometimes with this stupid clip, I can't even take the top heatsink off. Just do what you do on the higher end boards, Gigabyte. Give us the button like the ASUS board so I can press the thing and the clip opens up and I can pull the card out without having a fuss about. Yep, see? Every Gigabyte board right now has the exact same problem. It doesn't even matter which one I'm talking about here because they're slipping right now with their boards. I'm gonna be honest, Gigabyte. I know there's good people that work over there, but you're slipping, all right? You're slipping. Speaking of slipping, try not to slip over and fall onto the price, because if you're interested in the Z790 AORUS Elite AX, they're going for around 259 US dollars or around 539 Australian dollars at the time of filming this video. I hope that's the right price. Let me have a look. Yeah, 259, I was right. Yep. It's just how we do motherboard content around here, ladies and gents. Claire was laughing when I said something in the back. She thought it was rude. I was actually just trying to be funny. Anyways, guys, if you like the music you heard here, yeah, I make it. Click the join button to get it. And if you want to subscribe, please do subscribe. We put a lot of hard work into these motherboard videos, believe it or not. Some channels would like to disagree with that because they just steal our content. Anyways, I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers, you peak, we seek, and here is a little word from today's video sponsor. Lastly, shout out to all these channels out there who are jacking our motherboard content and making their own fake content. We are going to go on a copyright strike blitz and take down so many channels for stealing our videos. If you're watching this, don't do it. Claire is the master of finding these channels and getting them taken down. It's not fair because we work so hard on our content, and it's not fair for you to come and steal our hard work. That is not okay.